What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 with our Italian campaign. We are obviously doing very, very well. Unfortunately, this is our third naval invasion, but as they say, third time is the charm. The Mexican opposition, which I'm guessing is the allied version of Mexico, the democratic version of Mexico. They obviously joined in with the Allies, and of course, that means they are a new target. So instead of landing in Florida, I've had two costly mistakes. I've decided to land inside the Yucatan, and that does have problems of its own. Not only do I need to build up the infrastructure here inside the Yucatan, the naval bases inside the Yucatan, I also need to build up the infrastructure. I'm building radar as we speak, and surprisingly enough, inside these regions, a lot of our units are actually being sunk, and we can't do anything about that. Even though we have naval units in the region, we don't have radar, so it's not like we're really making that much progress. In the meantime, a lot of our units are pushing their way through Mexico, and we unfortunately had around 60 units, and I would say around 20 of them have been sunk. And we could send in another 18. We do actually have radar here, which is kind of nice. But one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until our very first radar station's done on the 11th of March, so it's only about 7 days. And of course, we are still building up our naval bases. Looking for the supply area. So this was a red 15. It looks like it's now a red 18. So it's getting better, but unfortunately we're still not doing as well as I would like. A lot of our units do have logistics companies, which is good as well. We have a lot of artillery. We still have 2,000 units of artillery. Support equipment is slowly but surely coming back online. Previously, I think we were down like 4,000. And obviously, we had to wait a very long time. We are making progress with our planes. And I kind of want to go ahead and add another 150 here. And add another 50 here. Okay, so everybody still has the same goal. But we're now going to move you to a different airfield. Okay, it's eventually going to go to 400 planes. And it looks like we're there. And the idea is to obviously provide close air support and air superiority for a lot of our units. So we now have a level 1 airbase, absolute garbage. A level 1 radar station, which is just trash. But we are going to go ahead and try to build up a level 6 as soon as possible. Now, I'm wondering, I am going to take a risk and send in these 18. All I'm going to do is shift them over to this front line. Send everybody to the front line, and then make our push through Mexico. I'm happy that we're doing well. We're obviously doing whatever we can to build up our supplies inside these regions. And I feel like we're also going to have to build up, at least to level 5 infrastructure in all of these areas. So that's going to be expensive as well. Are we having any issues right now? Not really. So it might not be that big of a deal. The only real issue that I see is our lack of naval bases. And obviously our horrible, horrible radar stations. How many units have the Mexican opposition lost? 33,000. But surprisingly enough, they're very close to capitulation. Okay, I see a lot of naval battles taking place. We are slowly sinking the American fleet. Though I wish we would do a lot better job with our radar detection. And for some reason, these units did not die. I thought they would go through Belize, but obviously they went through the Gulf of Mexico. But it looks like everybody's doing a phenomenal job. I could also, once again, move these planes up. Is that something I should do? I guess so. And therefore, let's add about another 100 units here. And another, I don't know, something like that. I don't think I have that many jet tactical bombers, and it looks like I do not. And I'm sure eventually some are going to get shot down, but it is what it is. A little hard to determine the difference between the Mexican green and the Italian green, but we are pushing. We're doing a great job. We had a lot more units. I would like to say we had 72, and now we only have 60. But I'm guessing we're going to keep pushing to the best of our ability. What are these 5? They need to move down. And do I want to build more modern tanks? We only have 817. Do we have a big surplus of motorized? Kind of, not really. But we could add a few more. So, motorized. How many are we going to lack? Negative 3,000. I guess that's fine. And I don't mind going into, you know, debt here for our motorized units. If, of course, we have more organization and hit points and a little bit more breakthrough. So it's going to make it a little bit easier in the long run. Supposedly, I don't know for sure. Field Hospital has been unlocked. I could also go ahead and finally send over all 36 of these guys. And now everybody is on the front line. These 6 will go here. You guys will move here. And I'm wondering how long it's actually going to take for all of those units to make their way over. About 80 hours. And that's only for 810 manpower. I have another research slot. Let's go ahead, start working on high-level bombing, giving additional bomber defense. Don't really need it, but it's better than nothing. How is our radar station? Still garbage. Building a better one on the 17th of April. So we're really getting a radar dish almost every 6 months. You would think it would be a lot better. And I'm starting to think that we don't really need this many, you know, this big of an air base anymore, as all of our planes have shifted away. And I'm starting to think that we probably don't need this big of a naval base. Let's go and build another level 1 naval base, and then this infrastructure can go down just a little bit. And what's kind of cool as well, we're actually taking a lot of additional factories as well. So that probably means we're going to need military police in time. Let's go ahead and activate. And because we now need military police, let's go ahead and probably build, I don't know, let's get 40 divisions and start pumping those out when we can. That's a lot of manpower to be put into military police. So it looks like the U.S. is starting to respond, which is fine. We are having a little bit of attrition, but it's only because we're traveling through the mountains. We are still building up infrastructure in a lot of areas, trying to at least get to level 4 or level 5. Probably level 5 would be our best option. Okay, resistance inside Mexico, and I would absolutely like all of these civilian factories. And I'm starting to wonder, with all of these future military units, it might not be such a bad idea to take a look at manage occupied territories, and then local manpower minus 100, occupation cost goes up, but then really I would take all of their resources and all of their factories. That might not be a bad idea at all. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to wait for these units to be produced. And it's probably going to be about another month before I can even do that. Do I want to take Monterey? Well, I don't. I guess I just did. All of our mountaineers are slowly but surely making their way over, or should be. I wonder where they all are. I have no idea where they all are. Here they are. No. Where are my mountaineers? I have no idea. They used to be guarding this area. Did they get sunk? No. Alright, I'm giving up. They'll probably do something stupid, like go around all of South America. Fall of London. I do want better radar stations, and I'm guessing that we're going to be building one up here, inside Chihuahua. Pronto. And these radar stations, much like before, are going to take a while. And we'll probably also build up a pretty nice airbase. Mexican opposition has capitulated. That means we now are building a level 6 radar station. Push that to the top. And probably another airbase. I don't know, level 3 or 4. Push that to the top. Okay, so all 96 of you delete this, and try to go ahead and just keep pushing on into the US. And I'm guessing you're going to go something like that. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then we will try to renegotiate and remaneuver our forces. We are about to get the offensive doctrine. I wish we had better planning, but we do not. How are the military police coming along? 7% trained, and I believe they need 20% in total. I see some yellow markers, so that means that we are losing a little bit of supply, or we don't have full supply. So how do I fix that? Make everything go to level 5. Not a big problem. I just need a better industrial base, and I don't have it. In the meantime, we're also still building a lot more military factories. And a lot of those military factories are, or at least they were going to support equipment, and I'm not even sure that we need that much anymore. Yes, we do. We're now in the negative numbers. Says it's going to be negative 21 days. I feel like it's going to be a lot higher. Well, maybe it's because we built so many military police. We have a lot of infantry equipment. Part of me wants to go ahead and make less. We have 1.6 thousand modern tanks. Could I go ahead and do something like this? Modern tank, motorized, and motorized. I'm going to save this. I didn't even look at it. But we went from 1.6 thousand all the way down to negative 4.4. But I think the idea is we can produce more motorized than we're losing. And we can produce a lot more modern tanks than we're actually losing. And what's cool is the more military factories we produce, the more motorized units we're going to achieve. It looks like we're not doing well in a lot of these areas, which makes me nervous. It's probably because our doctrines are so low, and we are improving those, don't get me wrong. But we are going to be working on Blitzkrieg. We are working on having a lot better units, and obviously another issue is probably supply. Looking at this, it says total supply status 53%. I wish there was something I could do about this issue. I would like better radar. Yucatan is being improved to another set of radar, which is probably going to go even higher, and therefore we are now going to be sinking even more boats. We're pushing into Texas. They're pushing back. I need a better industrial base, and I don't think I can really take the U.S. alone, at least at this point. And I also think I do need to go ahead and probably remaneuver this front line. Because I don't want any units getting caught out, and it's probably going to happen. So let's immediately take this unit and try to retreat. The U.S. has a lot of troops, but so do we. And we're building a lot more. I mean, we've got a lot of Mountaineer divisions, or we had a lot of Mountaineer divisions. I don't even know where they are. I still have literally no idea where these Mountaineers are. Did they run all the way back? No. I don't see them anywhere. Can I do something like this? I mean, they're already part of these 96.
Si, signore.
I mean, unless they're already there, I just don't know. You would think I would see at least one unit of Mountaineers. We are literally missing 36,000 or 36 units of Mountaineers, 36 divisions, and I literally have no idea where they are. They're probably in like Africa or something. I don't know. I guess we'll just continue on. Those Mountaineers would be really useful. I don't see them anywhere. Alright, moving back over to Mexico. We're winning. We're actually starting to win. We're actually starting to win a few fights. All of our motorized are finally making their way over. All of our modern tanks are actually... We're missing 4.62 thousand. I'm wondering if we're losing more than we're producing. And I hope that's not the case. It's 125 days. And now it is Still 125 days. Now, I would like better organization. I don't know if we're really going to get it. Our radar is slowly improving, and now we actually have better access to a lot of this area. Our radar station in Chihuahua being constructed as well, but it looks like we're going to be in a little bit of a predicament here as the rest of the U.S. forces begin their push. I just don't know how to defeat them. They obviously have a better economy than we do. They have more military factories than we do. And I could start researching, like, the atomic bomb, but I don't think it's really necessary. I mean, they just have so many units, and it looks like we're getting just pushed out in almost every angle. I need to save these 3,000 units. Is it possible? I have no idea. But we're certainly going to try, nevertheless. Let's actually maneuver you there. We've already been killed, and there's nothing we can do. A lot of these units are just downright not experienced. They have bad supply. The United Kingdom has capitulated, so maybe the German Reich will finally come and assist. Because this invasion might not work. I mean, they have more military units, more civilian factories. Somehow we've managed to lose 36 divisions of Mountaineers. Here they are. I have no idea what they did, but it took them a very, very long time. I guess they went around South America rather than just going from here to there, or they probably went around the world. But all of these Mountaineers are going to be put to good use. Alright, we are slowly but surely actually producing the modern tanks we need. What about our motorized, though? It's now 37 days, so I'm thinking we're doing it. It just could be a lot better. Unfortunately, we lost Chihuahua, and therefore we don't really have the radar stations we require, but I guess that's fine. How are all of our military police? I don't want to send them over to Mexico just yet, because it looks like we're actually being defeated in a small couple areas. The U.S. is losing a lot of organization. I'm thinking this is going to be the part where we start pushing back. I wish I had better production, but I don't. And these units are... It's basically the reason why. It's just the infrastructure. And I could go ahead and push these up. None of these matter, though. Now, when we look at supply, it's mainly these areas. And I'm guessing it's because of our bottleneck. And I'm also guessing it's because a lot of these areas are damaged. Carrier battle groups have been unlocked. We have 92 units. And I'm guessing all we need to do is hold out for a naval invasion from the German Reich. Which might happen, which certainly might not. Better half-tracks have been unlocked. We could get better Mountaineers. We literally need nothing. Alright, Australia assumes responsibility for colonial holdings. Inside Southeast Asia. British Malaysia has capitulated. Japan is doing a fantastic job. Australia is being obviously taken over. Japan did take over Pearl Harbor, but looks like the U.S. has taken it back. Alright, we are taking a lot of attrition. And surprisingly enough, still losing a lot of these fights. This might be a horrible mistake, but we're going to try to aggressively execute this battle plan, which we should still have. And activate. I have no idea if this will work, but we certainly could try. And it looks like we're losing a lot of organization. And we're losing a lot of these fights, which is not good. How long until the German Reich does their invasion? So they just landed, and they don't have a port yet, which is a little bothersome. But we are destroying what we can. They can gladly use Bermuda and a lot of my islands, but they're just not. We're starting to make a push here. How long until our new land doctrine is done? 173 days. We would get more organization and recovery rate for all of our units, which would be phenomenal. Down 4.8 thousand modern tanks, so this number is going the opposite direction. So we are going to have to build more. Let's destroy this. Start pumping out modern tanks. And I am just hoping that the German Reich can do a successful naval invasion somewhere. The U.S. has just so many troops, and I have no idea if it's even possible. Alright, everybody looks like they are doing a phenomenal job. Let's begin researching tactical bomber strategic bombings. All of our jet bombers are doing a good job. Let's add 400 more. I highly doubt we even have that many. Yes, we do. That's very odd. But at least we can do a lot more close air support. A lot of success in some areas and a lot of failures in others. We went from 92,000 all the way to 87. I see a naval invasion from the German Reich. I still can't believe they managed to take over all of the UK. I mean, they didn't even have that many troops. But at least they've capitulated, so all we really need to do is deal with the US. And then this campaign is finally over. Alright, I see this radar station inside Chihuahua. I don't know if we actually own it. I don't think we do. I would love to build better and better stations. Don't know how viable that is, though. Oh, you know what? Yep, we are still pushing or bombing inside the Mexican border. I mean, eventually we're going to push to the U.S. They're losing a lot of troops, or at least I hope so. You are going to move over. And I guess... I mean, we can't even really produce units because we... You know what we could do? You know what we could do? What if we did something like this? Infantry, infantry, infantry... I don't know if this is even a good idea. What would that look like? 151,000. All the way to, I think, 73,000. We'll see soon. All of these U.S. defense troops, which aren't really as numerous as they were, are slowly being phased out and replaced. All of the infrastructure finally being built up. Build it better here. I definitely want that radar station. And still pushing in Chihuahua. I would absolutely really like the Blitzkrieg Doctrine, but we're just so far behind schedule. How is the German Reich coming? No real invasions that I see. I'm going to go ahead and also remove all of these unread naval battles and try to remove all of these unread convoy battles. See some invasions and battles going on in the south, or at least South America. How long until our radar station? It should be on the 23rd of September. And I'm kind of surprised that we're actually winning some of these fights. It would be pretty nice if I could take this airbase. Don't know if that's viable. And we also have 2.6 thousand fighters, so I could easily throw on a bunch of fighters inside this area. Try to control the air bases, and especially the airspace. No Lend-Lease, default map modes. I don't like how this is hovered. There we go. Sometimes you get graphic glitches. Ace pilots again. Got about 600 planes I would like to send on over, and just like that, we got our wish. So I'm going to throw in 600 fighters, and all we're going to do is basically patrol the southwest, air superiority, and we don't have radar, which makes me a little nervous, but we're going to send over a lot of planes, have some actual superiority. Can I build up better air bases? Not yet. But we have a level 3 one here. Okay, we still have one plane, and they should arrive on the 7th of September. High-level bombing has been unlocked. And just like that, we now have 600 planes and access to the southwest, air zone. Still pushing to the best of our ability. I would like the German Reich to do some invasions right about now, but it looks like we're not going to get our wish. Okay, we are done with operational integrity. We are pretty much done with all of our fighters. Engineering is done, but we could start atomic research. I don't really want to, but I guess we can get that started. The reason why I don't is because it's such a long time to invest in. 407 days. I mean, technically it's like 3 years to even develop a bomb. And they're not even that good. They don't destroy any units. They just bring the morale to 0. So it's not really like a death button. The idea is there is a little bit of strategy to using the nukes. It's not just like a, use a nuke and you win the game. Unread naval convoys, unread naval battles, victory after victory. Looking at the Yucatan, we finally are building up our radar, which has taken a very long time. There it is. Slowly but surely, eventually it's going to get to level 5, and it's going to be even better. But I want Chihuahua to start growing up its radar station. And it looks like it might even happen. We are down 5.2 thousand modern tanks. We are down 2.7 thousand support artillery. We are down a lot of motorized. Did our troops actually make it over? I guess that's another question I had. We have so many units. And another thing that I could do is looking at all of these U.S. defensive troops. I mean, if I just removed these and added a lot more infantry, I mean, I think I've got the production to start building up more and more. I have no idea if it's really that viable of an option. But, I could just remove this, start building up a lot more infantry equipment, and then eventually I could switch over to all infantry units. Probably not the best idea, but I mean, they're easy to use. And then I could even do something like this. U.S. Defense, switch over to field hospitals. So then we won't lose as much manpower, and we're going to keep a lot of the experience. God, that might be a bad idea. Alright, well, we are going to go ahead and end this episode. Thank you all so much for joining me. Hope you all have an awesome day. I will see you in our next adventure.